This is the first day of a very unusual gathering. From Siberia, from Africa, and from the Amazon, a group representing indigenous cultures from all over the world find themselves in South Africa. For years, their governments have failed to hear their voices. Working together, they've been finding ways to change this. This is Venda in South Africa, home to some of the very last indigenous communities of this country. As their way of life comes under increasing threat, they're fighting to save their culture and territory from extinction.
Nasamsano wa utanda ndobona uri uzula pasi azikotusa chitu nga uri rikochinyalelwa mashango asho chinyiwote na madaka asho akoremekanyiwa akubvisiwa.
Over the last few years, this community have pulled together to address the issues which they face in this rapidly changing world. This week sees a key step in a process of reclaiming their territory and its governance as their own. They will be using a mapping methodology which has been used extensively in the Amazon rainforest. The aim is to make a visual record of their territory, their way of life, and the knowledge that they share as a community.
The first step of the mapping is to create the map of the past and to recreate the ancestral and the original ways of living so that they have a reference. Some of the real knowledge is just in their own minds and it's in their own memories. So just knowing that they don't know how to read and write, but there will be something that can make the paintings and the drawings of what they know.
For indigenous people, the struggle to communicate and to be understood in a Western world has proven to be difficult. They have traditions and cosmologies that are unique, often preserved only in their minds, and passed from generation to generation through their own methods of teaching. Unfortunately, governments have generally fallen short on trying to understand, and even less to accommodate, these differences. The people here understand their land through a philosophy called Mupo, which refers to a great order of living things, of which humans are just one small part.
When we are drawing a map, we said we're drawing the ancestral territory, if you describe it in English. The ancestral territory, we were drawing the Mupo map, not just the map of direction. Mupo is a word which describes the origin of creation, of all creation, of the universe. When we look at nature, it's Mupo. When we look at the sky, it's Mupo. That sound of a river has to be there because it's the original creation of the universe, of Mupo, that the water has to flow like that.
For this community, these maps mark the culmination of several years' work, reviving their sense of community and their confidence to be heard. Roberto is from the Piraparana River in the Colombian Amazon. His community have fought for over 10 years against the threats they faced. This same mapping methodology played a vital role in engaging their government in talks.
Solamente el mapa es la que representa, la que muestra como un retrato. Construye nuevas realidades que nos garantiza vivir mejor como lo estaban pensando. Yo estoy feliz con este proceso porque Mejor dicho, estamos llevando a cabo, estamos realizando actividades que inclusive no habíamos imaginado. Necesariamente se debe elaborar mapas, se debe investigar. De lo contrario no existe. De lo contrario pues no habría cambio. Difícilmente puede uno proponer una propuesta alterna frente al programa del Estado si no es por la investigación.
We see that we have elders who understand this mupo. Like myself, I learned from my father, who was old. I learned from the elders. They said we cannot live without mupo, and we lack knowledge of mupo. This map is targeting to be a knowledgeable tool for the future generation, meaning the children, and also as a reminder to our government so that they see the value of mupo and they see also how the destruction is.
Hava vachena vo da vari pura vari ri songo chaita zwa hashu zwihulwane ndi u rabela mudzimu no vhala bivhili vari zwipo hezwi azwi tshithu ndi nga kereke ngori hezwi ri hafha vhathu vanzhi vho no laṱa zwitungulo zwavho maḓini.
Today, the focus of the mapping turns from the past to the present and to the nature of the problems that this community face.
Mashango asho chinyiwa te na madaka asho akoremekanyiwa akubvisiwa achikubviswa nga makhuwa vachita zwithu zvavo na dzitiye dzedzi na zwiṅwevho lune rine riko pfa ri songo fareya vha utanda ngauri vho ri dzhiela zwine zwavha zwashu. Ndi pfa vhutshilo hanga hune daka ḽa remiwa ndi pfa ndi tshi tonga ndi na tshilonda nga ngomu mbiluni yanga.
What the maps of the present show is that even though the past is not that far, the Western civilization has come with such a great force that their past has changed radically in very little time, and they haven't had the time to understand what had happened. But it's there, and it's true that it's painful.
Musi ndichi sedza homepe une ra khou ola zwino nda dovha nda sedza na heḽi shango ḽe nda dzula khaḽo ndi pfa mitodzi yanga i tshi lubva ngauri ndi khou vhona ro tshinyadziwa. Ndi khou vhona uri vhutshilo hashu rine sa vhaaluwa vhu khou yo guma. Ndi khou lilela vhana vhaṱuku vhane vha kha ḓi aluwa uri vha ḓo tshilisa hani arali heḽi shango ḽi tshe ḽo vilingana ngorali. Ndo vha ndi tshi nga tama zwi tshi vha na zwi tshi tshintshiwa hada
This encounter is historical and it's unique because it's the first time that indigenous people, they come together and they come to share and to get inspiration from the others. They have been working for many, many years, but they had never met before.
As the gathering nears its end, the final stage of the mapping process is to look to the future, to set out a plan of what this community hopes to achieve, and to set themselves goals to work towards.
Ri vha fhurata muri vhathu vha si tsha soko rema miri ine ya vhori ya tsireledza shango ḽashu ri dovha ri tama na zwo uri hu vhe na u ṱhonifhiwa ha zwifho vhathu vha si sokou dzhena nga ngomu zwifhoni nga nḓila ine vha pfha vha tshi takalela vhaaluwa.
The map of the future helps people to understand that the future needs to be built now, and it has to be built with the references of the map of the present and with the inspiration of the map of the past. Even though they have been transmitting their knowledge from generation to generation only with words, with rituals, with ancestral connections, things have changed. And they also have to find new ways and creating ways of socializing their message and communicating what they are thinking. They are realizing that they had planted the seeds and that the seeds can become amazingly beautiful trees, and those trees can bring flowers, and those flowers are gonna bring some fruits. So I think after this process the seed has definitely been planted, and they have been the ones who have planted it.
Zino nena kusukwa mbori batu we kari kondelele nao batu bapio na bapio ba riamba nga ndira isiona kari farelele karutanda ruru runo rwabalwasha robegwa riba rutanda ruru kari na rupa